Well, certainly the caliber of NFL free agency this offseason is not as good as it's been in years past. The contracts are not changing. If anything, they're going up. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the NFL, of course. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy this 2025 NFL free agency frenzy of sorts. Free agency recap. Again, maybe we'll be doing one tomorrow. This is the main one, though, because, I mean, this is usually when most of this stuff happens when you think about it. I'm going way back to, like, two weeks ago, so we're going to get through a lot of stuff that I didn't really, again, featurely talk about, so most of this stuff. But again, the major stuff will be towards the end of this. I don't want to make this like a terribly long video. It's basically just me reacting, giving my takes on some of these contracts. I don't want to be one of those nerds and getting like the nitty gritty. I mean, that would be good, but that's really besides the point. Also, guys, you will be seeing a post free agency mock draft coming out on maybe Friday. I don't know. It's March. It's March Madness, guys. A lot of stuff's going on. Also, you'll definitely be seeing an offensive line rankings video coming out probably sometime next week. And, of course, you'll be seeing my March Madness bracket, hopefully on Monday. So, yeah, after Selection Sunday. And I don't know, maybe we'll do something with Selection Sunday. Anyway, though, back to football. Keanu Neal retired. I mean, I know this is old news, but I didn't really react to it. He's old. I mean, he was like a hard-hitting safety most of his career. He really has been like most effective the past couple years. Kind of makes sense. Isaiah Paul extended. He's a decent special teamer. We'll see if he gets a shot starting next year, especially with what's going on with the Raiders. Khalil Shakir, he's on a 4-year, $53 million extension. I did not know that. He's a solid number 2 receiver in my opinion. Again, at his best, but we don't really know that. Howard Jackson, again, we knew he's extended with the Rams Steelers, $57.75 million. Again, he had his best year of his career last year, career year for him. And again, the Rams really just needed someone like that, and he's been like that. Debo again traded to the from the Commanders to the Commanders. We already kind of talked about that. Matt Stafford, yeah, thank God he's back. That would have been bad. Alex Kappa got caught as expected. He's not good, and he was not good this year. Isaiah McDuffie signed in extension, probably the most consistent linebacker, even if he's not the most talented by any means. T. Higgins again got that franchise tag. Then $26.1 million to be exact. Kevontae Turpin's back on some sort of thing. Oso got a big contract, 4 years, $80 million. Again, he's one of the better defensive tackles in the league. Makes sense. Jonah Jackson got traded. Again, this is probably the worst trade of the bit. Again, this is kind of like microcosm of this Bears and franchise. The Rams made a mistake. I'll tell you that right now. Signing Jonah Jackson last offseason. Yes, he was a somewhat talented guard who had pretty consistent seasons in the years past, specifically 21 and 22. But last year he got injured and he just straight up lost his job when he came back to Bo Limmer, the starting center. And, like, the Rams signed him to a 3-year, $51 million contract. So they made a mistake with that deal. Like, they had him on the books for a guy who probably wasn't going to be much in their future. So the fact that the Bears traded for that contract and gave the Rams a 6th-round pick for that mistake is just beyond me. But they do have a goal in mind, and I guess they like him. So, again, if he works out, good for them. But I really can't figure out how they'll ever make up for that. Unless he's, like, literally the best player in the NFL next year, I really don't see how that's going to work out. Devontae, of course, got cut. We'll get more on him later. Restructure for CeeDee Lamb. Again, that was old news. Most of this other stuff is... Draymond Jones got cut. We already knew that about that. George Fant and Rayshawn Jenkins are both not very good. Saquon got a big extension. It makes sense. He's the best running back in football. Jamal Williams got cut as well from the Saints. He didn't really do anything this year. And then you got a restructure from... again, Nico Collins about a week ago now, or not as much. Sam Hubbard, he retired. Guys, Sam Hubbard was on his way out. I'm gonna be honest, guys. He had a decent 2022, was really not good in 2023, and last year he was just one of the most ineffective edge rushers in the entire NFL. Was getting consistent playing time. So the fact that he retired again, I'm like, again, he struggled with injuries last year. I'm not gonna act like, again, it was completely on his straight up poor performance, but he was not gonna be part of that Bengals future. So the fact again he retired, I hope he has a great retirement, but. Even if he's really young, and it's never the wrong move to retire. Again, if you made enough money, guys, like you're risking your body and your life playing football. Again, in terms of like older years, so I can completely commemorate him for that. Again, if you think it's the right move, good for him. Tyler Lockett released. Yeah, he's old. That's definitely a typo for sure. Dara Ogunbowale coming back on a very cheap contract to the Texans. He's a good special teamer, you know. Max Crosby got a massive extension, but. To make him the highest paid player, non-quarterback in the NFL. Alex Kappa, this is a bad move by the Raiders, but they do kind of make up for what they do a little bit later. Dak, again, restructure, 36.6. Holy crap. He's going to, guys, you guys don't understand how much he's going to be getting paid next year. Like, it's going to be crazy. Zach Baum didn't know about that extension. Bradley Chubb got a restructure. Zach Martin retired. Again, I think we already talked about that. That's a pretty big deal. Joey Bosa got released after the what was it 2016 when he was drafted there, like 4th overall of the Chargers. He kind of is out of frustrating the last couple of years. Another restructure for Deshaun Watson's contract. Again, honestly, they might have to trade their number 4 pick and to get rid of that contract if they really were hell bent on it, and even probably more. They have to trade like someone else too. Outside of that though, Eric McCoy, he got a restructure. What about else? Mitch Morse retired. I'm not too surprised. He's kind of old. But yeah, the Jags, of course, need to worry about center now. Tutu Atwell got a 1-year, $10 million contract with the Rams. I mean, it's not great getting $10 million in the cap, but Tutu Atwell needs to get a more bigger role next year. Well, maybe not even now. But yeah, I'm happy the Rams brought him back because he's a good player. Zane Gonzalez, again, back to the Commanders. That's good. Nothing really major here. Oh, yeah. Texans did trade for Christian Kirk, who, again, if he stays healthy, should be a reliable receiver for them, even though he's getting up there in age a little bit. Again, Evan Ingram got caught. Outside of that, though, as I keep going up, Bobby Wagner getting re-signed by the Commanders. Again, this is all before the madness is about to start. Derek Barnes is a 3-year, $24 million extension with the Lions. Cade Mays back as a backup guard, our interior offensive lineman there. Azeez Al-Shaair got a contract restructure. Jonathan Allen, again, the first that run of 4 straight years that the Commanders took a interior or defensive lineman in the first round. He's again 2017 that year. He gets released, which kind of sucks for him. Harold Landry found a home. We know where that is. We'll get to that in a minute. But he got cut by the Titans on the 7th game, trying to follow these storylines here. Trey Tomlinson got claimed off waivers. He's a decent corner. No, I'm joking. I just kind of like nipped his name there. Levante David back to the Bucks. He's so old. This is of course really the first big news again when it comes down to it. Geno Smith to the Raiders for I mean, kind of talked about this in mock draft, but yeah, 3rd round pick. Gus Edwards got cut. Gregory Rousseau signed a massive extension, 4 years, $80 million. Mike Gesicki back on a decent contract. He was a good tight end for them last year. Marquise Brown re-signed on a very cheap deal. Again, if he actually gets used, he could be pretty good. Marcus Davenport back is probably a depth guy. Zach Ertz got a good contract. Ronnie Stanley got a really good contract. He had his best year in years last year. Kader Kohu back. That's good. Tommy Tremble's not a terrible tight end. I mean, he's not good, but he knows his role. Derek Carr got another freaking restructure. Von Miller's gone. Not too surprising there. Myles Garrett's now the highest non-quarterback, I guess now. Yeah, that's going on. $40 million per year. That's not a good deal by the what is it called? Browns. Because honestly, guys, how old is Myles Garrett? Myles Garrett is still arguably the best player, defensive player in the football. But guys, he's 29. I think Myles Garrett has 3 more years in his where he can play at this level, which is a very optimistic estimate. Because guys, to be the best, arguably the best defensive player in football, again at 32 would be absolutely ridiculous. He's not the same talent Aaron Donald was, even though he's pretty darn close. But he's just not. He's not that all-time guy. But he's still arguably the best defensive player in football right now. I don't know if this contract's going to be completely fully played out. Because even if he has one injury, guys, you guys just don't understand. Myles Garrett, again, this is just a really risky deal for me. And again, this is what quarterbacks are getting. This is what Derek Carr was getting paid 2 off-seasons ago. It's just insane how much the salary cap has ballooned and how the Browns have really affected it. Baron Browning got a decent deal to come back. Nick Bolton got a 3-year, $45 million deal. Zadarius Smith got cut. Aaron Jones, 2 years, $20 million, pretty decent contract to be the starting running back. And then this is where we get into some real news here. Cody Ford, he's not a very good player, but he does have some good traits. So I don't know, maybe the Bengals just want him as depth piece there. 2 years, $6 million. Rams did in fact get Devontae Adams, and we'll get to something later. But basically, sends Cooper Kupp out the door. But he 2 years, $44 million. He'll be their X receiver next year. I really like the move. I mean, you'll see the contract again. There's a lot of clauses in it. It's pretty complicated. But overall, it was a win for the Rams, even though they do have to pay him $22 million a year when it comes down to it. Again, if he does stay healthy, which he's been able to. But the fact that again the Rams have 2 legit number 1 receivers again is really nice to see. Harold Landry to commit to the Patriots. They finally have a good edge rusher. They haven't had a real true consistent one in a little bit now. But 3 years, $43.5 million there. Jamin Sherwood, back to the Jets on a very nice contract, 3 years, $45 million. Josh Allen got a huge contract, $250 million guaranteed for the most in NFL history, which will probably be surpassed by someone soon. But yes, Josh Allen obviously fully deserved that contract. That again, I think he still had 3 more years or something like that left on the or 2 more years, something like that left on that extension he signed after that 2020 season. But yeah, this is definitely a lot more where it should be. Jarrett Stidham, 2 year, $12 million to be the Broncos backup. He's a decent player. Again, as a backup. Marquise Bell, good versatile guy. And then, of course, Ernest Jones, probably the first big, in terms of, real, again, in this motion. Again, that kind of got a spurting. But 3 years, $33 million back to the Seahawks. Again, he was solid last year. DK, again, huge trade here. He goes to Pittsburgh for a second-round pick. And he signs a 5-year, $150 million contract overall. That should be fun to see there. Jake Matthews, again, if there's any guy, again, in any NFL draft, and I'm like, that is the guy you want to draft, even if, again, he's not going to be a small pro player, that is Jake Matthews, because literally, again, they drafted him in 2014, they haven't had to worry about left tackle since. That's how good he's been for them. Awesome contract for him as well. Again, he's not young anymore, so again, kind of makes sense. Franchise tag on Trey Smith. I think they signed an extension though, something like that. Devon Gotcha goes to Patriots for a goes to the Saints for a 7th-round pick. That's gonna be huge because they need someone else to again with Brian Brzee, which means I don't have to have them freaking taking a defensive tackle in the top 10 in the mock draft. Broncos signed DJ Jones with a 3-year, $39 million extension. Really cool there. Grady Jarrett got cut. I think this was earlier today. J.C. Horn, this is a huge deal. 4 years, $100 million extension with the Panthers. He is one of the most talented players in the entire NFL. I think I can definitely say that. Again, it's just really been him being healthy and sometimes inconsistent reads there, again, in zone. But overall, he's one of the better players in the entire NFL there in the secondary, so it makes sense that he got that contract. Steelers, again, I guess they got Jalen Warren there. Khalil Mack back to the Chargers on a 1-year, $18 million deal. Braden Smith. He got his contract restructured, which again is pretty good there. Hassan Reddick to the Bucks on a 1-year, $14 million contract to be their number one edge rusher, which they needed badly. That'll be a risky move, but it should work out fine. Chris Godwin, 3 years, $66 million, and coming back to the Bucks again, good deal for him. I just hope he stays healthy. Jalen Moore, I don't think Jalen Moore's a very good player, guys. But the fact that again he's just straight up not he does have some good stuff. I'll be honest with you guys there at left tackle that I think could actually help him out. First things first, he can sustain blocks when he gets in the right situation. But I do think that Chiefs at least will be able to develop sometime. Like he's still pretty young. He's like 26, I think. But yes, this contract doesn't look good, but this is more of, again, I think a projection here. I don't love the contract because Jalen Moore just straight up, guys, was a backup in San Francisco. Getting a $15 million per year for that type of guy is just not good. But considering how just not good this market was and the fact that I think they will be able to develop him somewhat well, we'll see how it works out. Drew Dahlman, again, that's just not a very good contract, guys. Drew Dahlman was even a starter for the Falcons. I keep getting him confused. I think he was, though, right? Yeah, he was. Drew Dahlman isn't that impressive. There are some good things about him though. Again, I remember him scouting him back in 2020, and there was a lot of really good quickness stuff. He has very good niches that he's good with in terms of his quickness. But again, he wasn't really that impressive in the league so far. Outside of that though, BJ Hill 3 years. All right, guys. Yes, BJ Hill with that extension. That should be that should work out fine. Again, he's been good for them. Javon Kinlaw, who again a good year with the Jets overall last year, gets rewarded the $15 million per year 3-year deal with the Commanders. Robert Spillane, the solid linebacker, I guess somewhat from the Steelers over the Raiders last year, gets a good extension there with the Patriots to be. I don't really know what it'll be with them. We'll figure it out. Jimmy Garoppolo back for the Rams backup. I love him as backup. He's great there. Jordan Lewis, again, he had his challenge with the Cowboys, but still a solid player. He'll be their slot. Paulson Dable, much needed help for the Giants there at cornerback, and he did, if I'm not mistaken, break his femur last year. He's still a very talented player, though, so we're going to see if we can recover there. Jordan Lewis, though, helped the Jaguars secondary there. Dan Moore. Oof. You want to talk about a bad signing, guys? This is a bad signing. If you ever seen a bad signing, guys, this is a bad signing. Yes, Dan Moore is not bad. Or at least he wasn't bad this year. Or last year, I guess you'd say. But throughout his career, he has been a below to awful left tackle. That's just how it's been. Yes, last year was he not bad? I guess you could say so. But giving guy $18 million a year to be a left tackle is just not where it's at. You're better off taking a guy in the 3rd round and developing him. Just going to be straight up honest with the future. But they do need to hit the cap floor, so maybe not. Carlton Davis gets a massive deal to be the Patriots cornerback. I really don't know what the point of that was, to be completely honest with you guys, because they could just draft Will Johnson with the 4th pick. But that's besides the point. They do get a good deal with him, and I still don't know why they haven't signed a receiver yet. But Elijah Mitchell, a good contract to probably be the Chiefs' explosive back if I had to guess. Tremont Smith, good returner back to the Texans. Morgan Moses, I don't hate that deal. Again, he's usually decent. He was not good last year, though. Isaiah Rodgers should be a good depth corner for the Vikings and a returner. DJ Reed, big contract to go to the Lions, which, again, I don't really know why they needed him, but I guess that's what they're doing. Milton Williams gets a monster contract for a guy who I don't really think is that fantastic. I think he's very overrated. But he's at least good against the run, so you're going to get that out of him. So it's kind of a low-risk deal in that way. Matt Peart's terrible, but I mean, they do need depth for the Broncos there. Trayvon Moehrig, big deal. It's one of the better safeties in this draft or in this free agency class. Sam Darnold goes to the Seahawks, so yes, they have the quarterback. I kind of expected that, though. So yeah, 3 years, $105.5 million. Get ready to lose the Rams. Logan Joby got cut by the Steelers. I hope they re-sign him because they kind of need him. Poona Ford to the Rams. They flopped him for Bobby Brown, who's a younger guy. But yeah, Poona Ford is very good against the run. That's really all they need him for because they have 6 or 7. 6'7", guys that can get off the pasture. Nick Mullins, backup for the Jags, better than Mac Jones. And, of course, Justin Fields getting a decent contract, 2 years, $40 million to maybe their starting quarterback next year. We don't know yet. Cam Bynum, Vikings, you got to keep this guy. Yes, Cam Bynum's not the overall most consistent and reliable coverage corner or coverage safety, but he's very good playmaker back there, and he's very smart, and he's really decent man overall. So, huge signing for the Colts there, probably one of the better ones this offseason. Especially with the contract overall, this could definitely play out better again if he, is the playmaker we expect him to. David Odiengbo, very talented player, hasn't really gotten those snaps that I think he really does deserve getting there with the Colts. But can go over the Bears and with Montez Sweat there, I think that actually could work out again with those two guys there. Samaje Perine going back to the Bengals. Dyami Brown again had a big year again with the Commanders there in the playoffs. And yes, 1 year, $10 million deal I think is somewhere where it should be. Talanoa Hufanga, 3 years, $45 million to go to the Broncos to be their new safety. They kind of didn't really have anyone good there last year, so that's a good deal. Josh Sweat got a massive deal to go to the Cardinals. 4 years, $76.1 million. Going to be an edge rusher. I don't know if he's a true number one guy, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Patrick McCarry, good versatile guard. He'll definitely get to start in the Jags line there. Luke Farrell, I don't love this deal. Honestly, he's just not. He's a backup tight end. And that might be even being nice there, but it's not the most expensive. Grady Jarrett, he'll be huge for that Bears D line. They're making moves. Sebastian Joseph Day, 1 year deal. Aaron Banks, I probably could restart this. He'll get a 1 year deal as well. To get more of these. Yeah, Aaron Banks, not Aaron Banks. Sebastian Joseph Day, 1 year deal. But Aaron Banks, 4 years, $77 million, guys. These Niners O-linemen are getting paid. Yes, Aaron Banks, I overall think is probably a plus, guard overall. At least last year overall, especially towards like second half of the season, he was a lot better. But he's never really been that good of a player. So him giving these guys these contracts is just not a good idea. But he was decent at the end of last year. Massive trade for again with the Texans. I don't know really the point of this, but I guess we're doing this. Larry Tunsil, again, is still probably the second best left tackle, maybe even the best left tackle in football. Again, when all things are said and done there. Again, he was been with Texans since 2019, but they traded a 2025 fourth round pick, 2026 second round pick, 2026 fourth round pick, 2025 third round pick, and a 2025 seventh round pick. So the way it looks to me is they traded their entire draft outside of like the first round for Larry Tunsil, which kind of does make sense when you think about it. But yes, the Texans get a haul of picks for Larry Tunsil, who again is still one of the best tackles in the NFL. I don't know. I don't love the deal for the Texans because they could just chill with him there. But I guess they want to draft a tackle or something like that. Jeremy Chin again flipping over to the Raiders. Not really much of a better contract for him because he didn't really have that great of a year. Patrick Jones again former Viking pass rusher, never has really been the most consistent, but he has some talent, so that makes sense. And he's also produced decently. Donte Jackson has two-year, $13 million deal. He's again not really been that good the past couple years, but whatever. Brandon Stevenson, again, former Ravens, I guess technically number one outside boundary corner last year. Gets a good contract to go over the Jets. Nathan Shepard is back to the Saints, definitely being a backup role now. Robert Hainsey, decent contract to be the center for the Jags. Don't love the deal, but Robert Hainsey, I think, is at least a little bit better than what they have in Luke Fortner. Nate Hobbs, good 4-year, $48 million deal. The Packers are probably their slot corner, if I had to guess. That's what I like there. Malcolm Kuntz, 1 year, $12 million. Go back to the Raiders. Kind of made sense with that. Curtis Tunga is a decent backup defensive tackle. Ryan Kelly, flipping over the Colts. He's pretty old, but they do need a center now, so that kind of makes sense. Trojan Warren, 3 years, $45 million going to the Panthers. Huge defensive tackle move for them. I don't love it, though, because I don't think he'll actually give you the pass rush that you need out of him, even though, again, they still have Derek Brown there. But we'll have to see how it works out, though. Michael Jackson back to the Panthers. Darius Slayton on a 3-year deal after the Giants. A little bit of an overpay. Even though, I will say, guys, even though Darius Slayton is basically just your average number 3 receiver, he has produced, again, outside of 2020, he's been like a 600-yard receiver every single one of those years. And yes, again, that's probably not the numbers you want out of him, but he's really been like one of the only consistent guys in that Giants offense, despite not being that good. You got to respect what he's been able to do. Matt Collins is a decent depth guy. Again, you love him there. Michael Hoyt, again, going from the Rams. I don't love that. I really wish we kept Michael Hoyt, but he got a good contract to go over the Bills. I don't know if the Rams were going to really be willing to pay him that. Javonte Williams, Cowboys, be their third-string running back. Keem Davis Gaither to the Cardinals. Again, another defender there for them. Ashton Julian back to the Colts. Dre Greenlaw gets a good contract to go to the Broncos. That's going to be a decent move, again, if he can stay healthy. Zach Wilson to the Dolphins to be their backup. That's definitely interesting. I don't really know what they're going to do with that, but we'll see. Bubba Bolden, I don't know who that is. Oren Burks signs a good contract, again, back up there for the Eagles. We'll see how that works out. Malik Harrison over the Steelers, going to come from Ravens. They've just stole 2 of the Ravens linebackers. Tier Chart's decent. He'll be there. Justin Watson is going to the Texans. Again, former Chiefs receiver. Charvarius Ward, 3 years, $60 million, one of the bigger secondary contracts we've seen. Colts are really trying to upgrade that secondary there. Bobby Brown, again, like I said, we talked about that with the Rams thing there. Tarvarius Moore to the Bears. I guess that's what they're doing there. He's definitely a backup guy. Kenny Pickett, again, if the Browns start him next year, I'm going to laugh my LMAO, I guess, or PSDMO, whatever. Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 5th-round pick for him. DTR is literally the worst quarterback in the NFL, so the fact that Eagles did do this is pretty funny. Again, you see that. Chumadoga to your contract. Bradley Bozeman back to the Chargers, even though he's not very good. Josh Jacobs is their backup for the Patriots. Cody Barnes signs a good contract for the Titans after having a career year, but still not being really that good. Chris Board's a decent depth guy. James Hudson's a good backup right tackle. He might even start, though. I'll be honest with you guys there. Jake Hansen was very good for them. I don't know how they got him this low of a contract. I would pay him a lot more than that. Joseph Tsai, again, I don't know how he got paid $70 million, even though again, he was okay last year, I guess. That's really about it. Oh yeah, Najee Harris to the Chargers on a 1 year, $9.5 million. That's pretty big news. Saints get Chase Young back on at least a decent contract, and of course James Daniels, who has not really been that good in the past couple years, going over to the Dolphins. With that said, though, that is all I really got, guys, for again these news. I'm kind of happy I did get that Najee Harris thing in there. So again, he's leaving the Steelers, going over to the Chargers, where he probably will be their one back or something sort of like that. That's all I got for you guys here, though. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this free agency recap. See more of this maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Again, it's March though, and again, these buzzer beaters just again, it's what it is.
Last week, Meshack won it for Tennessee. Is someone doing it today? Here goes Sears.